I would like to be, what do you call, if possible, all the people to ask me their doubts. Doubts in the sense, how are you like this? Why is this? All personal things you can ask today if you want. So you don't have to be running in something. Why do you walk like this? Why do you need this? Why do that? Why do like that? Anything. This stick, it is a stick belonging to our family. My grandfather was DFO, Chief of Forest or something like that, during Angrezi time, means English rule. So he was the most powerful man, catching elephants. He was very good, very powerful fellow. With a lot of bhakti about Rama and all. That is additional. So when he came from forest, he brought one big gun which he used. And ultimately it was given to police station because otherwise they did not allow the gun to be. Then his usual dress. He retired on the Independence Day, 47. Then when he brought this bamboo original with this is root. He brought this from, I don't know why he brought this, from the forest. Then after, even when he was alive, he was trying to tell that the bamboo moves naturally with nature, God, whatsoever. It's special. I was asking why this stick. You can bring teak, you can, anything you want, sandal. Of course, he was, all those things are there even today with my grandmother. Why this? And he told this is special. Why Krishna should choose one particular word? Today it's different. You can play with anything. But so this bamboo is supposed to breathe. So you'll find that many times bamboo will not bend, but some days it will be looking bent. It breathes actually. Breathe. I don't know what is it. The breath goes inside the bamboo. We don't know scientifically. I don't put that brain in this. What he says, I am trying to repeat. This all he was trying to tell, and it's a so wonderful vibration at home and all. That all it's secondary. But after he passed away, I thought that I'll take this here. So I asked my grandmother to come, and one day for this she came all the way from Tirunelveli to here just to give this thing one day. Then she told Tata used Pandadra, you bear his name and you should bear his, what do you call legend, what do you call that? Parampara. Name of that she knows also, but still she was, while giving this, she told her. This is all by the way, but this is a representative of human being also. Bamboo is representative of human being. Any taru is representative of a human being. This particular thing is vibrant and it moves with nature. Dharmic man. All people are like trees. There may be trees with thorns, there may be trees with unnecessary fruits. Not like this in bamboo. Bamboo it just moves. Dharmic man is representative. Dharma. So whenever Swami Ishanandagiri used to say this, where is your Dharma Danda? Even if I walk without this, sometimes I will carry this, sometimes I will not. He will ask me, where is your Dharma Danda? There is another approval of this as Dharma Danda. Dharma means one who is righteous and this Danda represents that. And thirdly, this is a physical representative also. It talks, it does anything. It's so fluid. Only to people who know. That is don't imagine this, but it does many times. Suddenly, by itself. You can't coax it. It does by itself. I don't know which language, I don't know. So nothing can be proved like this, You can't prove it, this is how it is. But whenever it happens, it happens. After happening, we try to analyze, try to come to understand. All those things are not needed. Accept things. So this is what this is done by us. Still you can ask questions, rational questions also. So I was trying to answer the rational part of it also, by the way. So the doubts arise even in those angles little. Initially we thought that the name Sangeeta means Samyak Gita. Gita should not be simply to show their power of singing or their power of genius way of rendering. I always see, even till today, suppose you put two judges in music field and you ask four people to sing in front of them. Nowadays a lot of programs like that come. So the first singer, who whatever they tell, the second singer will say that I don't feel so, that was correct one. Whenever this person says no, it's wrong, that person will say, just to negate, this person is nothing. They will say, immediately that person will get angry next time. Whoever is, I told this because there was a minor mistake in this. This Swara, they could not catch it. That is how they, like this, no two musicians agree. Then how can you call this a Sangeeta? It's only power of ego and power of knowledge. I don't blame the Sangeeta for this. The people with who can't understand and relate themselves properly to the Geet. Geet means the song, the celestial one. Samyak means where it gets unified with God. So Sangeeta itself means that it is unification of God with man through the power of notes, notation, or Gita. And the Indians consider it Saraswati is Aditevata, or deity of this. Saraswati, I have told you a lot of meanings about it. She is the Rasa, she is the Brahma Rasa. Yesterday some beautiful songs someone was singing, where they were telling Nandi Turaga. What is that word? Nandi Turaga Arohitam. Arodhitama, Arohitama. Aruda. The power of God and Goddess in a man, how it is catching a man. Beautiful sentence it was. This is for detailedly I am explaining to you what is Sangeeta, how great it is. The Indian thought itself. Muthuswami Diksha Karati. The principle of Ardhanari and Ardhanarishwara, Ardhanarishwari. The principle of who has initiated this creation. Afterwards, Shiva, Parvati, many things we consider as male and female things. But initially it was without form. Then when it came with a form, it was a mixture of positive and negative, perfect mixture of positive and negative energy. So that we call as Ardhanari, even though figuratively we put it half Shiva, half Parvati and all. But the song itself is so beautifully, I can't call it composition. It just throws out a lot of meaning if you understand Sanskrit. But it's a very good answer for you, you catch what is Sangeeta. It can be anyway. I am saying Sangeeta Saraswati award is given that. Laya Saraswati if I give, I can give that. Nada Saraswati means I can give for flute or veena or guitar or violin. The award's name I was saying. So usually we call Ardhanari and finish with that. Ardhanarishwara also we have heard. Ardhanarishwari, that we have not heard. So very mystically he has made that song. So what Ardhanarishwara does is, whatever Ardhanarishwara is Priyakaram. And the whole body of human things he is trying to explain. The Kundalini power with the Mani, Nagendra Mani, which we call in Sahasrara, that is the body with the spinal cord, this thing. Nagendra Mani Bhushitam. And how the body is functioning. Nandi and Ashwa. Turaka means horse. So this power has taken over the human body in these two ways. Nandi means charma, Turaka means prana. So with these two body functions. And what is the purpose and all? Even this body has to be worshipped by all the Indriyas. So Amaresha means who is it? Indra. He is even serving, he is even worshipping this body. He can't get this body. He is only lot of senses. Even he does the puja of this. Very minutely, pinpointedly, he tells how the body functions. I don't know whether it's necessary, but it is. We know this, a lot of enlightenment, illumination happens with it. This is the actual meaning, mystical meaning with which he would have. Even the meaning, I say, we have to give meaning because even that taste gets lost once you start explaining. But unless you know this, how will you enjoy that, So, nothing is waste, nothing is sung for anything, money, power, position, or as you put it, awards, Muslim sure, and why should we do all this? So, we don't know whether even this raga he used, but still the words are so powerful, and that is a merging point with God. So that is why Sangeeta is a different thing. Such a holy power it is. So that award is given to a singer. Some other day, if someone else decides Nada Saraswati, he will give it to an instrumentalist. Laya Saraswati, already many people have Kottayam Memorial and all Laya. Nada also so many awards, Nada. Our purpose is Sangeeta in Kenya. Hope it's all right. Should we continue with that? Sangeeta Saraswati? Okay. That I have explained on that. Actually, physically I have one guru called Swami Ishwanandagiri. He is put up in Mount Abu, Samvit Saranalaya, near Dilwara temple, but much above that. Near Prajapita, Brahmakumari Ashram, Dilwara, that is all down. This is Sarovar, Santa Sarovar. The main stream, the Sarovar means the lake, the spring. Santa Sarovar name itself is Saint's Lake. There he has got a small ashram. His guru was Narasimhagiri Maharaj, Mahamandaleshwar. A big, Mahamandaleshwar means a big Chakravarti. He holds a big mandala. He is the guru for millions of that Mahamandala. Mandaleshwar, Mahamandaleshwar. It is the ultimate in sannyasa rule. So this Narasimhagiri belongs to Dakshinamurti Mutt of Varanasi, and it spread throughout the world, and he is head of that mutt, and a lot of people are under him, Mahamandaleshwar, were under him, Mahamandaleshwar. This guru was, Swami Ishwanandagiri was studying in a big university as usual in England, and this happens, suddenly. Why study? What I'll do with this? Usually, many people think about why means there is no answer for that unless you search. Why this? So suddenly, we don't know. From his words, I am saying that he wanted to know where anything is free. That is this. And what is free? What we call as free, what is that term, free? So with that he came in search, and finally he joined this mystical guru called Swami. And what is his title? In North Andal it's famous, Mahamandaleshwar. We call many big sannyasis. Now, like Jagat Gurus, everyone is a Mahamandaleshwar. Previously only a few. Now everyone keeps that title Jagat Guru like that. So what happened was this, in his words once again, after joining this Guru, he puts it in a very mystical term. Similar things I often repeat also. I don't know whether it happened in that way, but it's a mystical explanation he gives. After he has given grace, I was stripped without direction. What? We don't know. How beautifully it is explained, we don't know. There is no direction to go, I was stripped. So that is the power of mysticism. He belongs to, today also, I consider him as the highest among sannyasis with a strong discipline and a dignified way of living, and one word means one word. Everything is mystical. Terrific. So that is the answer to it. We call Narasimhagiri Paramaguru. Dakshinamurti Mutt, Dakshinamurti is the Paramartha Guru. That way also, Adi Guru. So Paramartha Guru, Paramaguru, you have to know, like when you are doing a marriage or that, what is your father's name, what is your grandfather's name. That when you come under a Guru tradition, this is necessary. But we are a little different, but still, even in that standard we are that. Bus standard also, North Indian Arya Vamsha. It's all just a physical qualification. It's not needed, but still, because you ask. We call it as Vadadesat Vadamal. It is one who has travelled from north, and usually they take pride that they are the most original Aryas in this universe. That is their feeling. It's not caste, but pride. You have heard that name? Vadadesat Vadamal in Brahmin community. There are a few classes in that. Vadamas themselves are divided. Vadadesat Vadamal is the original, so then comes Choladesat Vadamal. They consider all the Tamilians, Choladesam, wherever it spread. These people also started telling that they are Vadamas. So that is second. Then Markati Vadamal. They are like our friends here in Karnataka. Some of them are Ayingars, like that. Markati Vadamal. They follow the tradition of Vadamas, so they consider themselves. So these three are in the Vadamas. Then comes Brahacharanam, Ashwashastram, Vadimal, Bhattar, hierarchy in Smarta tradition. Now what? But details are interesting, at least we should know what was our original way of classifications. Then came Vaikhanasam. Shankara created his tradition, Vaikhanasam. Then from there came out Vaishnavism. Then there were two panktis in that. One is called Vaishnava, the other is called Sri Vaishnava. So Sri Vaishnavas, just like Vadamas, Vadadesat Vadamas, they say they are. Vaishnavas are whoever is available in this place, and so all the people who follow Vaishnavic tradition. That is how Vaishnava culture developed. So Sri Vaishnavas told that they are the highest. They are given a place in Vaikuntha. So if one Smarta goes and sits near his home, the whole street will be washed with chani, with Todang. Not only his home, the whole street should be washed, because he has entered that. That was the very strong Sri Vaishnava Agraharams. Kanni ellarne Tulasi puttu, they will purify with Tulasi and then they will start using. So these were misunderstood, but really they belong to a very high tradition, but afterwards the adaptation became very menial, in the sense, mean. Once you consider yourself as supreme, all should come into you. Isn't it? You should be accommodating everything, isn't it? For discipline it's a different thing, but not out of hatred. These people are a little, now it's all right. Even Vaishnavas, they are mixing with all the people now. But as long as man likes division, there is no end to this. Bhartavarsha. No, they are blessed actually. I explained on 1105 cassette also that Over Sikhs like is a Bharatiya. Yes. But Indians need not see. Let them be, they are blessed actually. As I told you, they start with Kailash, Akasha. Then they come to Uttaranjala, Anjali, Jharkhand. Everything is with meaning. Rishikesh. Afterwards, when you come down from the highest place, Akasha, you descend only on the top of mountain. Then from there, Ganges starts, Gnana Ganga starts. Once you come down, then you belong to Rishis. And then they created Haridwar. This is Hari's place. Then it's all full Shivamaya. Then how Sikkim, Uttaranchal, all those places are having meaning. Then comes the cults, Mathura. Then comes Agama towards south of India. Then it ends up once again in the ocean. How everything should get merged. India is designed like that. So one who is born is already blessed. Whether he's in slum or something like that, unless he creates his own divisions. I don't have money, I don't know, these things are different. It doesn't go by faith, it goes by thinking. So as long as I think that I have this, I can't be freed. This is how the catch is in the human beings. But those people are not exposed to all this. So that is the problem with them was they started believing in whatever they see as truth. Even today, suppose you say you are nice, they will believe that you are really saying you are nice. No one in the world will say anyone as nice, unless some result they expect or something. They take words for granted and whatever they see as granted. So that's a different thing. And they believe in something and they are told that is the Rakshana Marga, protection path. And every day they have to live on hope. In that a few people started searching and maybe they are eligible for, but all of us are saved. Want to know the details? Last week also a lot of people were about to, they were all saved by divinity. In spite of a lot of, even the world predicted that that particular place was in danger and they have to relocate. It did not happen. So everyone is under Bharatvarsha. And particularly I like a few people, like Mexicans, Spanish, not a question of liking, they still continue the thought process, oldest traditions. There are any other religious people also, they have faith that this is the tradition. So whether they are useful to the world or not, we want a few people, the oldest race, to keep pace with the modern race in future, And the modern race has to turn spiritual.
Quarrel between man and the mind. Quarrel. Fight between man and the mind. We know nothing from this is superior. This is ultimate. But mind will not, even though consciousness agrees that it is ultimate thing, you have to go along with it. Mind will not come, sometimes something will be rolling inside. This is not so, this is not so. Why are you doing like this? Why is it? How to control rolling itself? We know consciously is that it is a thing. Even then, mind tries to roll inside. Anything. Why is rolling, how to stop this rolling process?
The only belief and faith stop this. Not even consciousness and God can stop this. God in the sense I am not talking. God can do anything. He can change the mind. That is different. Why I say God is, even if Supreme Person, suppose there is a Vigraha in the temple and there is a Devasthana and one or two people may come for asking something, boon, Mado. The Purohit will start using mantras and he will say that you are given this, you are given this. So he is happy but all others come with different motives. It goes to the extent of nonsense creating nonsense inside the temple, which is highly objectionable. Many abuse of the temple it is. So when is God responsible for this? In that context I used the name of God. In my Devasthana, can this abuse happen? you may not ask. He may allow so that the person will be still bound. He can create more lives or he can get the reaction. So God is a witness in certain things. So if you go to this witness state only, then there is a chance is that the mind will, I don't use the word control, will not come to work. What if mind talks so many things? It doesn't harm anyone. But the crooked thoughts results in a little crooked behavior. And the crooked behavior reacts in a different way. Comes back as a reaction. That is very common. As I usually tell you. You take a mambadam, you get the reaction. If you take kara, you get the reaction. If you take sweet. It's only momentary, but still the reaction is there. So instead of controlling, can you just watch the mind or believe that mind is useless? Mind cannot dictate me. This belief itself, mind cannot dictate me. A very good example is, I was seeing on the road, he has nicely shaved a Pomeranian. In the sense, what you call hair. How did he did, we don't know. It's a very expert on the best beautician. It's difficult without any Roma. Because just in the previous day I saw the same thing. It's a lot of hair. Next day I see, it's the same size. There's a particular black spot in the tail. It is there. And it has a small mark here, that is also there. The other things are so nicely made up. I asked my person, what is this? Same Swami, it looks more nice. Everyone comes and asks me which country it belongs to. No, it's a very mystical thing I am trying to do. So we decide on this. This should be out of country. Most country Pomeranian, what do you call it? It may not be Pomeranian then. Most country dog. We want to get one. Very expensive price he will tell. He will never reveal the secret that the hair will come once again. So you will have to pay that very high price and till the harvest, what do you call, next harvest season comes. Your claim that it is so and so also cannot be proved. So what happens is, once you have bought this unnecessarily, thinking that it is so beautiful and it is so divine and different, then subsequently what goes with it? What will it eat? You will think that this particular thing will not eat that, but the Pomeranians will eat very simple things. Otherwise it will get indigestion and all. So, along with that, how much problems we buy, and the whole thought process will be on the duck only, not with our children. They have to go to school, this man has to be cooked. Whether the dog went out, so we have to take that out, and whenever it throws its legs open, we have to wait, and wait for divine grace. Till it finishes and it will do like this. Okay, it's over. And how will I control that? This is the answer to the mind. We do everything, something is there with it. So unless there is nothing in the mind, it's only buying of this unnecessarily, and you leave it that the dog will never think, when will I go out, when will I eat, when will I do. It is the worry of the person who has bought it, and mental worry also. Dog will never say, I am hungry and all that. Is the correct answer? So I got a dog, I have to maintain it. No one can save this person, because we have already believed in something and we have to undergo that process. Even if you want to leave it, neighbor dog will not leave it. You keep it, it will say. Otherwise, our own children would start loving it. These children love nowadays dogs and people. So they will say don't leave this girl, don't leave this. Some way we have to suffer because others' opinion also join, and we have to mentally get attached. Exactly apply this to your mind, you will now know that how the mind gets connected. The example is very simple, but it's mystical.
Muthuswami Dikshit, can we have the meaning of some selected?
Yeah, here itself, if you go to the site, even in Bangalore, they have got the meanings written. I don't know the name. I don't know. I have not checked the site by myself, but if you go to the site, Dikshidhar Kritis or something like that, it may be there. Then maybe you get the meaning of that in the site itself. Otherwise, you know where the book is. Who has translated in English first. With the meaning, but it will be literal meaning. Suppose she says Nandi Surakar or some means the goddess is like this. God is having Nagendramani, is possessing Nandi, and he has climbed on both Nandi and horse. That's how they will give the meaning. But the mystical meaning, they are not very. Usually, they don't want human to become ultimate. Anyone, because always they respect something and they keep at a distance. They love it. That is how the religion grows. So I don't blame anything, but the literal meaning is that only. But if you probe from the mind of Dikshita, it's a flow of human relation with God. So that is how we have to enter into mind of the person. Most of the people do it out of fear. They have never done Sandhya Vandanam. Rather, not those who are doing, I am not blaming them. Most of the people would have forgotten what is mantra, what is tantra. All tantra only. Tantra means tricks. You ask anyone today, Abhivade, how many people know? Seriously. So when all these things happen, of course you are talking about the cult of Brahmins, isn't it? So they were thinking that these people have to go through Pitraloka to various other. They have to be eligible for Aditya Loka and all that. So that's why all these rituals were created to send them at least through mantras to various places. I say this is necessary, but I would have loved if the same person is given one glass of milk or juice or a few words of consolation in his lifetime. Such people are always neglected and usually these days, always there is a fight between father and not parents and children or something like that. They think that they are more eligible. This person thinks that modern age is like this. They have their own views. This person is their own. So with all this, they love each other, but that is not the way. But I don't think the love is translated in action. So once they have done it, I don't think all these rituals are needed, but it will be done with meaning. But this is mostly done out of here. Particularly when you go to Nadi Shastra, he will tell you that. Then Appanige adu madilla, ivarige adu madilla. Or in your last janma you have not done this to your father. Something they will create and they will make you ask prayer. So that. But death itself is a beautiful this. Saptanadis never die. And no person wants the person to come back to life. So usually if you can allow for some time, it is something like a more long coma. The death is just the pulse will be down, but it will not be out. You properly check. So there are few Uyir Nadis, Jiva Nadis, which will be still functioning. But no person wants a person to come back. I don't know why they don't want, but they will consider this person as clinically dead. The person is clinically dead. Clinically dead is when the heart is not functioning and a particular nadi in the hand is not functioning. It doesn't show its pulse. But what about the other 6 nadis? So most of the people whom we are cremating are, I don't know what to call that. That's the fate of the body gets, the blood stops, and when the blue things takes over, we need not keep the body. The blood circulation is not there. But most of the people you see, even what these people do is, even without, the breath is fully out, we take. The breath will be out only when the stomach gets swollen and all those things. Then at least there is a meaning. I don't ask anyone to wait and all that. To follow what customs they are saying, but when a most famous Carnatic musician, not M.S. and all, someone else, died, I was telling someone, Saptanadi Adangale edukku edukura. Saptanadi Adangale, before he was cremated, I was trying to. It was so lively, Sangeeta personification, a beautiful body and very disciplined life and power of whatever you call as Brahmanism, that Gayatri power. So with all this, that's why I told them, they will take birth in such places where they will work like a donkey and live like a dog without properly even eating. Eating, you understand. The rituals are supposed to give them food for the next year. And every year, Tithi is supposed to give them, feed them for the next life. And it stops only when the generation is out, Then you get 3 days Tushti. Then you don't get Tushti, like that. Now the father's generation is out with the last son. Only sons are eligible for Tithi. And with the last son, the generation is not there. The grandson need not perform, but they also, if they perform, it doesn't usually reach some small thing. But at least if the sons would have performed, maybe they get food and water. It's all, I don't know whether it's belief, but every meal we take, I think it's a blessing. All are not given food. They don't enjoy food, or they don't, they are not given first. Even if they are given, they don't enjoy it. So, this is purely a blessing from any ritual or any good things we have done. So many times grandson is allowed. Suppose the person does not have a male child, so the grandson takes it as the thing and does. But it's not allowed in Shastra. Because any day the daughter's son does not belong to the family. Different Gotra is so son need not perform. The thing gets over the last son. Till the last son it is. Usually they don't perform. Yeah, they don't perform. No, someone else can. The son-in-law, whoever is going to inherit the property. If they can inherit the property, they can do some rights on it. It's allowed that son-in-law also can perform the rights. Then he has to work as a son but his brother will not be allowed. Son-in-law who has taken over can perform till his time, then that is over. Nowadays there is always a way out. Previously they were not allowing this. Originally, there is a different system where a sort of sacrifice is given and say that it's over. We need not perform anymore. That was the previous system. Maybe like that, yes. Like that it is. Offering. Yeah, everywhere. Life starts, if you call it breathing life, it starts with where the wind starts, wherever it is, if you call it life. Otherwise, there are a few objects which pose as life forms, but they are lights. We call them Gandharvas, Yakshas, Kinnaras. A few not evolved things, a few different species which are existing as life. Yeah, if you call it extraterrestrial, it is. We call them Yaksha, Kinnara, Kimpurusha, Gandharva, Naga, so many other names we call them. Same thing is called as extraterrestrials in the Western world.
So all this people UFOs are
That we have asked them, they have seen it. Because these people cannot be seen. Suppose I put a video camera on you itself, you blink for some time. Video light, what is called flash. When this cannot be seen, some stupid idiot lights it is, with your normal eyes. Anything can be claimed, but how do you see it? But existing or not existing. UFO, if you name it UFO, if you call it Pushpa Viman, it's Pushpa Viman. Some name, some Viman we will call it, whereas someone will call it by a name.
there are people who claim that communication
The department, once you read one chapter also, you will get mad. So many foreign ladies want children from UFOs. Sachi, go to the internet, go to UFOs and see. There are many people, just like we were booking in Moon, we are going to celebrate marriage under the sea. Their booking is going on, no? Like that, this is also a big time thing for the past 30-40 years now. They say, schizophrenic people can communicate with anyone. How will you stop anyone, suppose they command such person comes and stands in Vidhan Soda. This Vidhan Soda is mine. This Vidhan Soda is mine. How are you going to stop? The Chief Minister can come and say, it is not even mine. No, this Vidhan Soda is mine. I am the Jana, I am the owner and I am the citizen of Karnataka. So I belong to Kannada Nadu and this is mine, this is mine. So he can communicate properly with his decision. But how will anyone? Everything is a schizophrenic case. But if you understand deeply, each one is different. I am communicating with my dog, someone was saying. When dead dog. Other boy Ramana Palu case. Bosho was telling me this, Bosho was telling me that our friend was telling. Bosho, what did he tell? No, it is not he, it is she. Okay, such powerful who can even decide on another flight. You go here, you go there, you do this. Such powerful, who is she? It's only a communication. That's what, who is she? My dog which passed away 11 years back. It's a real incident. And this can happen, anything can happen. Everyone is in that position. Everyone wants to communicate. They spend time nicely, but they are at least rational. To come out that it was just imagination, but many others are spending time like that. Is it getting bored? No, that's what I told her. Just you go for walking and come back to your home. Why should you see a dog and catch it? Either once you are taking birth, more impulse, more action, more. Everything is like that. We create and we think that we are caught in that. Actually, we have not created, we are not caught. It's all happening by the way it's a thing. We will not take any responsibility. But we think that we are creating more. Simply you walk on the road. You know Musica? Yes, I know. Have you heard Sunita Chauhan? No. What if Sunita Chauhan, if I have not heard, what musician? Simply you were walking and why should you reply that you know music? That is the birth. You think that you know the music. Birth means child is born. Then the outside impulses are given information. If you have not heard Sunil Chauhan, what is it? Unnecessarily a thought is put in the head. And we don't know who is Sunili or who is Sunil Chauhan. You missed it yesterday. Next time then we will lose sleep. We have to go wherever she is. We have to hear and who asked all this? So the birth of the thought that I am so and so, and more input from outside creates a craving, and we create our own craving, and either we have to drop it intellectually, or we have to undergo the process. To undergo the process, we have to pay for it, like anything. It may be a small 1 teaspoon of sugar, or going wherever she sings and comes. Pay for it. So nothing stops unless our thought is transcendent. Oh.